Welcome back to College Football Addiction. We've got a big one on Friday night in the ACC. Jeremy, how you doing, man? We'll talk about it today.
I'm doing good, man. Just sitting here. We're actually in the same state for once.
That is rare.
Not too far away. A few hours or so, I guess. Maybe, 4.5, 3.5?
No, you're in Orlando, is that right?
Yeah.
Dude, you're about an hour and a half. Well, based on where you are in Orlando, because it is huge. Maybe an hour and a half. Are you like near everything, Disney, Universal, all that?
I'm in Kissimmee.
Yeah, about an hour and 15 minutes.
Really?
With no traffic, yeah.
Okay.
We were there. I'll tell you, we were there on nobody listening wants to hear this, but y'all just live with it for a minute. We were there on Friday. We took the kids to Epcot, and so yeah, we're over there quite often. Nice. I'll hit you up when we get off here. Maybe we'll plan stuff when I'm not off here. See what you're doing.
Let's talk after.
Louisville coming off a bye week. Miami coming off a bye week. Both teams off last week, so that works out well. In their last game, Louisville loses in overtime to Virginia. We talked about that game before you were on, and it was a good game. My team lost to them in overtime too, so I feel it. But I do think Virginia's a good team. Big takeaways just from, the first 5 games of the year, and mostly that Virginia game where you're always disappointed when you lose, but just thoughts coming out of that one.
Well, I'm going to lead it off. First off, I wasn't impressed. I told you beforehand, I wasn't impressed by them. Defensively, I came away even less impressed offensively. And Virginia fans, feel free to kill me in the comments. It is what it is. Well, you lost to us. Yeah, we did, but no, losing to Virginia this year just felt like losing to them any other year. A year we should have won and shot ourselves in the foot. We dominated. I don't want to sound like that fan that it is what it is. We lost, but you can point to about the missed field goal that guy hadn't missed a field goal all year, misses an easy field goal. Going for it on 4th down near midfield and just tossing it backwards 10 yards for them to run it back for a touchdown. The ignorant pick six, just so many things. Like that's when it's frustrating. When you point to one thing and you're like, oh, well, if this would have went differently, we would have won. You could be like, well, okay, that just sounds like sour grapes. But literally, I could pull up 6 different plays in my head, and that game should have went our way. Congratulations to them for cashing in on the mistakes, I guess. Offensively, they were about what we talked about last week. Yeah. Not impressive at all. Defensively, I didn't see anybody on the pre-tape that stood out as a star. Heck, I forgot we talked about it last week. I forgot one of our guys from last year was on their team. Okay, they scored 2 defensive touchdowns. That's very rare, and that's very good they did that for them. But their offense did not beat us. Our offense beat us.
Yeah. Looking at this, and I'll tell you this too, not to take anything away from Virginia. They've gotten the wins, but I felt similarly about our game against them. They won.
You all just overlooked them. You all just overlooked them. We didn't overlook them. We just we just wanted to make sure the ball was getting to an end zone one way or the other.
We also had 3 turnovers. We had a turnover on the 4-yard line, and we've been so good in the red zone. And we literally took points away from ourselves. We missed a field goal, dropped a pass wide open in the end zone. We took 17 points off the board for ourselves. We gave them a turnover inside of field goal range, which they ended up scoring on. So there's probably 20 points, that we could have gone the other way had we, you change a play or two. But anyway, credit to Virginia. They capitalized. No. When we made mistakes, they capitalized,
No credit. I don't even like the people in Virginia.
Here's a team, Jeremy, that makes me sick to give credit to. You see what I'm wearing. I have said for 4 weeks now that Miami's the best team in the country. That has been my take. It makes me sick. I don't like them, but I also believe in being honest, and I just try and call it like I see it. I know Ohio State's really good too. They looked great against Illinois. If somebody wants to put them 1, Miami 2, I'm fine with that. But I have said that I thought Miami has been the most impressive team in the country, especially when you look at where Florida State was. I know they're terrible now. Where USF was, Notre Dame, even Florida's got some talent. They're a dumpster fire, but they do have some talent. Miami kind of dominated them. Man, it certainly doesn't look. I hate road Friday night ACC games. We played 2 of them this year, so thank you ACC for that. That's why we're trying to get out. But a Friday night road game against what is either the best or the second best team in the country, you can kind of call it what you want or believe the AP or not. I mean, it seems daunting. Let's just be honest. Like, nobody wants to go on the road and play on a Friday night and to have to do it against a really good team. Do you have any kind of intel or any insight, or what have you heard just about the mindset of the team coming off the loss, but then going through the bye week and looking forward to this game?
Is this where you're going to leave the thumbnail that says Louisville expert says something insane?
Oh yeah, yeah. I need you to talk some crap, or just be honest. Either way, I mean, the Florida State guy just called him the best team in the country, so I guess I could go with that too.
Well, so here's the thing. It's kind of hard for me to tell because I've watched a couple of their games, but it wasn't against very good competition. Fun fact: Miami's one of the only teams. Miami is the only top 25 team in the country that doesn't keep cumulative stats on their website. Even Louisville does that. Florida State does it. Everybody does it. So when I went to go do my research for this week's ones to watch, I had to go through individually by player and scout the entire team, which made me hate Miami. And I didn't hate them before. I disliked them, their organizational skills anyway. Looking at their stats, pretty similar to Virginia's, and I know they're probably going to be mad for me comparing them to Virginia. 1,200 yards passing through the air in 5 games. I mean, I know backup quarterbacks that do that. Rushing yards, only 809 in 5 games. So when you look at their scores, the scores look impressive. When you break down their stats, you could have took all the names off, and could have very easily been like, oh, maybe this is South Florida's quarterback, or maybe this is Wake Forest's quarterback. Okay, now I'm just trolling. But no, the stats are very, very.
I'll get right back to the video, but first I do want to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper. Do not delay. We're like halfway through the month. The offer only goes through October, but if you've been waiting to deposit, if you've been waiting to put money into the app, you don't even have to do that now. You get a free $20 play by putting our code in, CFA, for college football addiction, on the Sleeper app. The link in the description literally will auto-populate that for you. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to deposit if you're cheap or you just don't trust whatever. Go and make a free play right now. You get a free $20 on the Sleeper app. You go in, you pick more or less on at least 2 players, games that you like. They've got free picks all the time. I saw that last night Jared Goff had a more or less of 0.5. Go and deposit on the Sleeper app right now. If you also want a $100 match up to $100, you can get that. But again, you don't have to. You just get a free $20 play. Go and play. We'll play that live on the Power 2 on Wednesday. Give you some of our favorite picks from the weekend. Let you know how we did last week so you can trust or fade what we're doing. Appreciate Sleeper for their support. Go check them out.
I guess so. That what that means is they're doing something right on the field. They're taking advantage. They are executing and they are making very, very good adjustments. So I am not terrified of this team. I know they're a very good team, but I know we're a good team too. I mean, you don't inflict 6 wounds on yourself that'll win you the game, go down by double digits, and then come all the way back, take the lead in overtime. Which, by the way, thank you ACC ref crew for once again showing why home cooking is not a thing for Louisville. I don't know how it is for the other schools, but you don't get it. We could still be playing for all I know because Isaac Brown caught that ball. Was it Isaac Brown or was it Duke Watson? We caught the ball. That should have been extended. We should have had a touchdown. It is what it is. Yes, I'm still aggravated about Virginia. But nevertheless, this is a team they're a good team. Now, I don't know that they're might disagree with you on being the number 1 team in the country, but they're a good team.
When I look at Miami, I think their trenches are what stands out. And that's not breaking any news. Everybody says that. Their offensive line has 3, 4, maybe 5 when you look at the depth too. They've got a lot of guys that are going to play at the next level on the offensive line. And Ruben Bain, maybe you'll disagree with me on this too. I think Ruben Bain's the best player in the country. I just don't think defensive guys, I don't think non-quarterbacks really get a look for best player in the country. Like, it doesn't matter how good of a running back you are, doesn't matter how good of a wide receiver you are, defensive back, and even defensive lineman. If you're not a QB, you don't get consideration. He is an absolute monster. He is an absolute freak. And Akeem Mesidor is really good. So their trenches are really good. And I think their best credit is they are elite in the trenches. I don't know that they're otherworldly elite anywhere else, right? And so the Miami fans will jump on me, but let me finish this thought. I think they're just really solid everywhere else. Like, Carson Beck has very high highs. He has some tendencies that need to be ironed out and fixed, and that's why he didn't go in the draft last year. But I think their wide receivers are above average. I think their running backs, Fletcher's really good and big. They're above average. Linebackers are good. Defensive backs are way improved from this year. And so, yeah, they're not really elite anywhere but the trenches, which matters a lot, but they're really good everywhere else. There aren't a lot of weak points. Last year, their secondary was terrible, and so you could take advantage of that. But this team is very complete. There aren't a lot of holes. And so I think to beat them, you do really have to play your A game. You can't, Virginia can't go out and play like Louisville can't go out and play like they did against Virginia. Florida State had, if they'd have played like they did versus Bama, they'd have been in it, but they didn't, right? Like, they had 3 turnovers in the first. Right. They let a very good team with elite trenches. They can kind of lean on you. And to me, that's the biggest credit to Miami is I think their trenches are elite. I don't know that they're super elite everywhere else, but they're very good everywhere else. And that's what makes them tough is they don't have a major weakness. And so you've got to play your A game. You can't lose a turnover battle by 3 like Florida State did, or lose it by 2 like Louisville. You've got to really play well.
No, absolutely, and just to do a little bit of contrast and comparison. Carson Beck, 1,213 yards passing. Miller Moss, almost 200 yards more on the season. More rushing yards from our starting running backs than their starting running back. Wide receiver, Malachi Tony, 375 yards receiving. Ours, Chris Bell, 502 yards receiving. Tackles, Hutchinson with 32, Bain with 26. Bain is the best defensive player in the country. You're correct on that. Former Louisville recruit. He was down to us in Miami back when we were grabbing every Miami guy that was in existence, and for some reason did not pull that off with him. But yeah, you go to let's go to the receivers. We got a 500 and a 300 yard receiver. They've got a 375 and a 269. So what I'm saying by saying that is the offenses are very similar production wise. The difference is the trenches because Carson Beck, I don't know how he doesn't have more yards than he does because I've seen some of those offensive linemen and they look like small apartment buildings. That he should be, but I'll tell you why. And this is what plays. I'll touch on that in a second. But the offensive line is definitely the difference in this game. It's going to be the difference between winning and losing, basically, because they have an offensive line that can give Beck time, and we have an offensive line that makes our quarterback toss the ball backwards and keep away from our own team when he gets frustrated.
Yeah. How much? What do you look at as the biggest place that Louisville, like, what does Louisville do well that can maybe give Miami some trouble? Like, what is it? Like, where will, this thing goes right for Louisville? What will they have done in this game to take advantage of Miami? Which, again, I do think they are. They're tough to take advantage of in a lot of areas. But what would be the path?
The path is simple. Carson Beck is a quarterback that he's a great quarterback. Well, he's a good quarterback. I hate saying great about anybody because it's such hyperbole these days. Oh, you're great. podcaster. You're a great vacation. It's whatever. But he's the kind of quarterback that Louisville can feed on and I'll tell you why. We have issues with dual threat and mobile quarterbacks. We have since our DC came into town, and I'm not going to blame him. It is what it is. But he's a guy that stands back there because he's got time. He stands back there. Those are the guys. Those are the ones that our guys like Clev Lubin is going to feast on. And I really think the path to our victory is don't turn the ball over, don't get frustrated. And for some reason, we have, and I hate saying that. My old school thoughts creep in. Oh, don't talk about the kids like that. But they get paid these days, so I don't feel too bad about talking. But a quarterback's best. Let me ask you this: what do you think a quarterback's best asset is?
I mean, probably just his mind, right? Like the mental side of the game. Because I've seen guys that are short, tall, huge arm, small arm. Dude, I've seen quarterbacks, play for the Bucks and FSU that you'd say they can't throw the ball at all, but they're moxie, their mind, right? Like the ability to take care of the ball and just do what is asked of them and not try to take over. I think it's so mental there in that position.
And I agree with you. And the problem is that's the number one attribute I think is clutch in a quarterback is how they handle stressed situations such as, oh, there's three guys running towards me. I should get down. Not, hey, there's three guys coming for me. Let me just throw it up and see who can get it. And that's been the only thing, because let's call it as it is. You can sit here and say that our quarterback, I still won't call him by name because I don't want to slander. Our quarterback has lost us these games, but then you look at the stats and it's like, oh, he threw for 330 last week. Oh, he threw for 300 the week before. We had, and I don't care what anybody says, that Pittsburgh team, legit. They're a top 25 team in my opinion. And every time I watch them, I was watching the tail end of their game on the ride down yesterday, and I saw exactly yesterday what I saw against us and what I had saw the prior week. But yeah, you just got to have a quarterback whose first instinct, and he did it against Pittsburgh. He threw a 172-yard pick six instead of just going down. And honestly, we're really lucky. There were two or three more passes that should have been picked off that Virginia just dropped. And I mean dropped. We were in the not to go off on a tangent, but we were on our own 5, and QB1 threw the ball to about the 7-yard line, hit the guy right in the hands, and then fell to the ground. It would have been another easy pick six. So let's circle back around. To win this game, we need to take care of the ball. We've got to give him time because we know what happens when we don't give him time. You end up with the ball. So that's and we have to be healthy. We have not had a healthy running back room the entire year. And I think that's another reason. It's very easy to crap on the offensive line and say, oh, they're not giving them time. Oh, they're not doing their job. But they've not had their regular personnel back there to be able to, that they know their tendencies, that they know how they run and stuff. So I just feel like we have to be healthy back there. This has to be a balanced attack because when all you do is pass, that's how you end up getting sacked 150 million times. And you open up your quarterback to making more mistakes that way as well. So health, cut down on the penalties, win the turnover battle. And we've got, and I feel like we've got this, even looking through all their cumulative everything as I am right now on the CSZ 1000 right here. Tron. It's like, okay. And I know games aren't played by stats. So Miami fans, calm down. Again, respect you all. Appreciate you all. I'm thinking about taking the train down Friday night to come watch the game. Enjoy the city. But I think we have just as good of an offense when it's 100%. And I know our defense is the top 25 defense. So
should be a lot of fun. I know it's early in the week, but the game is early too, so I guess I don't feel too bad about this.
Sure.
Listen, I'll be the bad guy on this. I think Miami wins this. I think Louisville is able to keep it a little closer. I think they've shown in all their games, Virginia, Pittsburgh, all these, they battle. And this was a great game last year that went down to the wire. I do think Miami wins this, but I think it's by about a touchdown. I don't know that they cover the spread. I do think one thing that maybe plays into Louisville's favor a little bit is just being that little bit more desperate team that has nothing to lose. Whereas, does the pressure start to creep in on Miami a little bit? How do they play now that you look at the rest of their schedule and they're going to be a 10-point favorite in every game they play? Does the pressure start to get to them a little bit? Does Louisville just play a little looser? Because, I mean, we already have the ACC loss. Like, let's just go out there and do it. So I do think they keep it close. I do think it's a fun game. Weird things happen in conference on Friday night. But I will take Miami. If this was in Louisville, I might go the other way. But because it's in South Florida, I'll probably go with the Canes. Do you have a prediction in this one yet, early in the week, or a lean?
It could be in my backyard, and I still would not feel comfortable picking the Cards right now. And I love them. I mean, I even try to at nauseum pick them to win, even when I'm not really sure they can. I feel like this is going to be a back and forth like last year. If you remember, it was back and forth the entire game until about the fourth quarter. They went up 2 scores, and then we scored a garbage time touchdown to make the final result just 7 points. I feel like I'm with you. I feel like it's not going to be a double-digit game. However, if Louisville can if somehow our quarterback has learned in the last 2 weeks how to just not give the ball to anybody that's not wearing the same color as us, and we play Louisville football, because this is not the same Louisville team from 20 years. This is not the same Louisville team that's lost every time at Miami but won. We pretty much dominate them at home. At Miami, we only won the one time. That was 2 years ago with Jack Plummer in another shootout.
Yeah.
It's a close game, so that's why it's hard for me to look at the spread and be like, oh, it's going to be they're going to beat us by 17. No, they're going to beat us by 15. So as of right now, I'm going to pick Miami by 8, with the caveat. And I know what everybody's going to say. Well, if all of our teams do what they're supposed to, we should win every week. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that this Louisville defense is a top 25 defense. They should be able to keep us in this game alone. It's going to be up to the offense. Is the running back room healthy? Can we get some yards? Can we not be so predictable? And that's why we've the offense has struggled, and it very well could be the reason why. Almost called him Plummer. QB1, no, because Plummer knows how to manage a game. QB1 can just, for some reason, remember that he's played football for 27 years and don't make mistakes. And I really do I think we have, either way, I think it's going to be I don't think we go out there and do them like we did back in 06 when we beat them like 31-7 at home, or like we did in the Russell Athletic Bowl when we blew them out. But I think this is going to be an 8-point swing either way. Just gotta do the basics. I know that sounds simple, but penalties, we've committed a lot of stupid technique penalties this year. I think we're averaging like 8 or 9 penalties a game. Don't turn the ball over. Don't be scared and throw the ball to the other. Even though I will give him this, last week, even though I've given him a lot of crap on this show, he was down on that pick 6. You could see the side of his shin, which is weird because he wasn't down according to the refs last week. But when Lamar fumbled in the same situation, oh no, he wasn't down either. So even though they showed his whole wrist on the ground, they were like, "Oh, that's a fumble," and that's what allowed those idiots down the road to steal a victory his last year here at Louisville. But that's it right there, man. I think 38-30. I'm not saying the other team's name.
Where can people get all your work this week? I know you're on vacation, but where can they get all the content, all the work, everything that you do leading up to the big one on Friday night?
Oh, I'm still going to be working because you know as much as I do. The reason why we work on vacation is that we love this stuff and we breathe it. And being a former player and now in the media here, I just can't get enough of it. But to answer your question, you can find all of our articles at cardinalsportzone.com and check out the YouTube page. We not only broadcast 2 to 3 shows a week there regarding Louisville athletics, but we also, if you're a wrestling fan, we do a couple wrestling shows. We do one wrestling show a week. We've got 2 shows. One of them's on hiatus right now because one of our members is one of the referees for one of the major companies now. So he's had to take a step back. But you can find all of that. Our YouTube is at Card Sport Zone. Singular Card, Singular Sport, ZONE on YouTube.
Awesome. Well, good luck on Friday, man. I'll be sorry to the Miami fans. I'll be cheering for you, but we'll see how good my support and well wishes matter. But I appreciate you for hanging out, buddy.
Not a problem. Anytime. I've told you anytime. This should prove I mean anytime.
No doubt. Thanks, bro.
Not a problem.